My college roommate turned stalker. Obsessed with me, breaking into my life with her creepy brother's help. This is the nightmare I survived, and it's wilder than you'd believe. I've been carrying this weight for years, and I need to get it off my chest. It's about my old college roommate, Mia. What started as a normal friendship turned into something so bizarre, so unsettling, that it still haunts me. I'm 24 now, but this all kicked off when I was 19, a freshman just trying to survive dorm life. If you've ever had someone worm their way into your world only to flip it upside down, you'll get why I'm writing this. I met Mia on move-in day. She was already there when I dragged my boxes into our tiny double room. Curly red hair, freckles, and this big, welcoming grin. "Hey, you must be my new bestie," she said, jumping up to help me unpack. I laughed, instantly liking her energy. I'm pretty shy, so having an outgoing roommate felt like a win. Mia was a sophomore, a year ahead of me, and she seemed to have it all together. Confident, funny, and always up for a chat. We clicked fast. The first few weeks were great. We'd stay up late watching movies, order pizza when we couldn't face the dining hall, and vent about classes. Mia had this knack for knowing exactly what to say to make me feel better. Like when I bombed my first bio quiz, she dragged me out for ice cream and told me I'd ace the next one. She was like the big sister I never had, and I trusted her completely. But then, things started getting weird. It was little stuff at first, easy to brush off. Like how Mia always knew where I'd been without me telling her. One day, I came back from a study group, and she casually said, "How was the library? Did you finish that essay?" I hadn't mentioned going to the library. I figured she'd just guessed. Our campus wasn't that big, but it stuck with me. Then there was the time I lost my favorite hoodie. It was this faded green thing I'd worn since high school, and I tore our room apart looking for it. A week later, I found it neatly folded in Mia's dresser while grabbing a charger she'd borrowed. "Oh, I must have mixed it up with my stuff," she said with a laugh when I asked. Her explanation made sense, but something about her smile felt off, like she was testing me. The real red flag came a month in. I'd been texting my high school best friend, Sam, about a guy I liked in my psych class, Ethan. It was silly crush stuff, nothing I'd shared with Mia yet. One night, we were eating takeout, and out of nowhere, she goes, "So, Ethan's pretty cute, huh? You should totally ask him out." I froze, my fork halfway to my mouth. "How'd you know about Ethan?" I asked, trying to keep my tone light. She shrugged, twirling her noodles. "You talk in your sleep sometimes. It's adorable." I didn't buy it. I've never talked in my sleep. Sam would have teased me about it endlessly if I did. But Mia just smiled and changed the subject, leaving me with this creepy feeling I couldn't shake. After that, I started noticing more. She'd finish my sentences, bring up random details about my family I hadn't told her, even mimic my habits, like using the same lavender lotion I loved. It was like she was studying me, trying to be me. One night, I came back late from a party and found her sitting on my bed, flipping through my sketchbook. I've always drawn to unwind, and that book was private, stuff about my life, my feelings, things I didn't share with anyone. "Mia, what are you doing?" I asked, my voice sharper than I meant. She looked up, totally calm. "Just admiring your talent. You're so good at this." "It's personal," I said, snatching it from her. She apologized, all sweet and sincere, but her eyes had this glint, like she wasn't sorry at all. I started locking my stuff in my desk after that, but the damage was done. I couldn't trust her anymore. The first big twist hit a week later. I'd been at the library, stressing over midterms, when my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Check your room." My heart sank. I raced back to the dorm, and when I opened the door, Mia was gone, but my sketchbook was open on her bed, pages torn out. On my pillow was a note in her handwriting. "You don't see me yet, but I see you." I stood there, shaking, trying to make sense of it. Was this a prank? A threat? I didn't know, but I knew one thing. Mia wasn't who she seemed. And this was only the beginning. Update 2. After finding that note on my pillow, I couldn't sleep in our room anymore. Mia's words, "You don't see me yet, but I see you," kept looping in my head, and every creak of the dorm made me jump. I crashed on Sam's couch in her off-campus apartment that night, spilling everything. "That's messed up," she said wide-eyed. "You need to tell someone. RA, campus security, anyone." I agreed, but I didn't have proof beyond the note and my gut. Mia came back the next morning, acting like nothing happened. "Where'd you go last night?" she asked, all chipper, unpacking her backpack. Out, I mumbled, avoiding her eyes. She didn't push, just hummed and started organizing her desk. It was so normal it made me doubt myself. Maybe I'd overreacted. But then I saw it. A corner of my torn sketchbook page sticking out of her trash can. My stomach twisted. She'd kept it. I reported it to our RA, Jess, that afternoon. She was chill, maybe too chill. Sounds like a roommate spat, she said, scribbling on a clipboard. I'll talk to her, but unless she does something concrete, there's not much we can do. I left feeling deflated. The note crumpled in my pocket like a useless clue. Mia got weirder after that. She'd hover when I was on my phone, leaning over my shoulder to see what's funny. Once, I caught her staring at me while I slept. I woke up to her silhouette by my bed, just watching. Bad dream, she muttered when I yelped, shuffling back to her side. I started sleeping with my desk lamp on, telling myself it was temporary. Then came the Ethan thing. I'd finally worked up the nerve to talk to him after class. Nothing big, just a shy hey. Good point about the lecture. He grinned, and we swapped numbers. I was giddy, texting Sam about it, when Mia piped up from her bed. Ethan's texting you already? That's fast. I froze. How'd you? You smiled at your phone. It's obvious. She winked, but her tone was sharp, like she was annoyed. I didn't tell her anything else about Ethan, but she kept bringing him up, little digs like, he's not that special, or, you could do better. It felt personal, like she was jealous, but why? She didn't even know him. A few days later, I got another text from that unknown number. He's not for you. My blood ran cold. I showed Sam, and she insisted I block it, but I couldn't stop wondering, was it Mia? I checked her phone when she was in the shower, heart pounding as I scrolled her messages. Nothing matched the number, but I saw texts to someone named Kay, random stuff like, she's clueless, and almost there. Who was Kay? The next twist hit hard. I was at Ethan's place. We'd started hanging out, just friends, and I left my jacket there by mistake. When I went back the next day, he looked rattled. Someone trashed my room last night, he said, showing me the mess. Books torn, desk flipped, and my jacket shredded on the floor. I found this pinned to it. He handed me a note. Stay away. I felt sick. You think it was Mia? He asked, reading my face. I didn't know what to say. It had her handwriting, but I couldn't prove it. I told Jess again, and she finally moved me to a single room down the hall, promising to handle Mia. I thought that was it. Space, safety, a fresh start. But the night I moved, I found a photo slipped under my new door. It was me and Ethan, laughing outside the cafeteria, taken from across the street. On the back, in Mia's scrawl, I'm still here. My hands shook as I locked the door. She wasn't letting go. Update 3. Living in that single room didn't feel like freedom, it felt like hiding. Mia's photo of me and Ethan burned a hole in my desk drawer, and I stopped sleeping with the lights off. Every footstep in the hall made me tense, wondering if it was her. I told Ethan everything, and he was amazing, calm, supportive, even offered to walk me to class. But I could tell he was freaked out too. She's unhinged, he said. We need to figure out why she's doing this. Sam agreed. Let's dig into her past, she said one night over coffee. There's got to be something. Old friends, social media, anything. Mia's profiles were squeaky clean, artsy pics, vague captions, nothing personal. But Sam's a wizard online. She found an old forum post linked to Mia's email from years back, a rant about losing everything after a fallout with her high school best friend. It was cryptic, but it mentioned a K who ruined it all. That name again. I started asking around campus. Most people knew Mia as the bubbly redhead from art club, but one girl, Tara, hesitated when I brought her up. She's intense, Tara said, shifting uncomfortably. Last year, she got weird with my roommate, followed her around, kept showing up uninvited. We thought she was just lonely. Did she ever mention someone named Kay? I asked. Tara frowned. Not that I remember. What? Just curious, I lied. That night, I got another text from the unknown number. Stop digging. I blocked it, but it confirmed I was onto something. Mia, or whoever, was watching me closer than I thought. The next clue came by chance. I was in the library, scanning old yearbooks for Mia's high school, when I found her, smiling in a group photo, arm around a girl with short black hair. The caption read, Mia and Kara, inseparable. Kara. Kay, my pulse raced. I cross-checked the name online and found a Kara Lynn who'd gone to the same school. Her social media was private, but her profile pic showed that same black hair, now longer. Was this Mia's partner in all this? I showed Sam and Ethan. We need to find her, Ethan said. If she's involved, she might talk. We tracked Kara to a nearby town. She worked at a coffee shop, according to a tag post. The next weekend, we drove there, my nerves buzzing. She was behind the counter, pouring lattes, and didn't flinch when I approached. Kara, can we talk about Mia? Her face tightened. I don't talk about her. Leave me alone. She turned away, but I pressed. She's stalking me. I need to know why. Kara sighed, wiping her hands on her apron. Look, Mia's messed up. We were best friends until she got obsessed, wanted to control everything I did. I cut her off, and she lost it. If she's after you, I'm sorry, but I can't help. Does she have your number? I asked, thinking of the texts. No, I changed it years ago. She hesitated, but she's good at finding people. Be careful. On the drive back, I felt a mix of relief and dread. Kara wasn't Kay, but Mia's pattern was clear. She fixated, then spiraled. That night, the biggest twist yet hit. I woke to my phone buzzing, dozens of missed calls from Ethan. I called him back, groggy. Check your email, he said, voice shaking. There it was, a video from an anonymous sender. It was me, sleeping in my new room, filmed through the window. Mia's voice whispered over it. You can't run. I screamed, dropping my phone. She'd found me again. Update 4. That video broke me. Seeing myself asleep, vulnerable, with Mia's voice in the background. It was like she'd crawled inside my head. I called campus security, sobbing, and they finally took it seriously. They searched Mia's room, but she'd cleared out. Bed stripped, desk empty, like she'd never been there. The RA said she'd withdrawn from school that morning. She was gone, but I didn't feel safe. She'd vanished before I could confront her. Ethan and Sam stayed over that night, camping out in my room with snacks and bad movies to keep me sane. She's bluffing, Sam said, squeezing my hand. She's got nothing left to throw at you. I wanted to believe her, but the video replayed in my mind. How'd she get so close? My window was second floor. Did she climb? The police got involved, tracing the email to a library computer off campus. No prints, no leads. They found the torn sketchbook pages in a dumpster near Mia's dorm, along with a lockbox, locked tight, no key. Probably personal stuff, the officer said. We'll crack it open, see what's inside. I nodded, but my thoughts went to Kara's warning. She's good at finding people. A week passed with no sign of Mia. I started relaxing, thinking maybe she'd moved on. Ethan and I got closer. He'd check in daily, and we'd grab coffee between classes. Sam teased me about it, but I could tell she was relieved I had him. Then, the lockbox results came back. Inside was a journal, photos, and a USB drive. The police let me see some of it, supervised. The journal was a gut punch. Pages about me, my schedule, my habits, even my favorite foods. She'd written stuff like, she's perfect, better than Kara ever was, and I'll make her need me. The photos were worse. Me at the gym, the park, even asleep in my old dorm bed. The USB had audio. Mia talking to herself, planning how to fix me into her ideal friend. I felt sick, realizing how deep her obsession ran. But the real twist was the last journal entry. Kay's back. We're finishing this together. Not Kara, someone else. I told the police about the Kay texts, and they started hunting for a new lead. That night, I got a package, no return address. Inside was a keychain with a single key and a note. You'll need this soon. Mia's handwriting. I lost it, calling Ethan in tears. He came over, and we turned the key over and over, trying to figure it out. It's a mind game, he said. She wants you scared. But it felt like more, a promise she wasn't done. The next day, Sam found a storage unit registered to Mia's mom nearby. The key fit. Inside was a shrine, photos of me plastered on the walls, my old hoodie pinned up like a trophy, and a laptop. We didn't touch it, just called the police. They found files on me, hundreds of them, and a map with my routines marked. Mia had been stalking me for months, maybe longer. That night, she called. My phone lit up with an unknown number, and I answered, trembling. You found it, she said, voice eerily calm. I knew you would. Mia, stop this, I begged. Leave me alone. She laughed. It's too late. Kay says hi. The line went dead. Update 5. Mia's call shattered any hope she'd given up. The police traced it to a burner phone, no location, but they upped patrols around my dorm. Ethan and Sam barely left my side, and my parents wanted me home, but I refused. I needed to finish this, whatever this was. That K mentioned gnawed at me. Who was helping her? The storage unit gave us more. The laptop had emails between Mia and someone named Kyle, her older brother, estranged since their parents split. He'd been in and out of trouble, and Mia idolized him. The emails were cryptic. She's the one. Time to end it. And what? Me? My life? I couldn't tell, but the police put out an alert for Kyle. A week later, I saw him. I was walking to class with Ethan when a guy, tall, red hair like Mia's, watched us from across the quad. He smirked, then vanished into the crowd. That's him, I whispered, showing Ethan a photo from Kyle's old arrest record Sam had dug up. We told the police, but he was gone. The next night, it all came crashing down. I was alone in my room. Ethan had a late class when my window rattled. Second floor, no balcony. I grabbed my phone, dialing 911 when it burst open. Mia climbed in, wild-eyed, a knife in her hand. "You're mine," she hissed. "Kyle said we'd fix you." I screamed, bolting for the door, but she lunged, grabbing my arm. We wrestled, and I kicked her off, adrenaline pumping. The hall filled with shouts. Ethan and security stormed in, tackling her. She thrashed, yelling about me belonging to her, until they cuffed her. Kyle was caught an hour later, lurking outside. The trial was a blur. Mia pleaded guilty, stalking, assault, breaking, and entering. Kyle got accessory charges. She'd fixated on me as a replacement for Kara. Then Kyle egged her on, feeding her delusions. She's in treatment now, and Kyle's locked up. I moved off campus with Sam, and Ethan's still my rock. I'm healing, but I'll never trust the same way. Writing this feels like letting go, like I'm not her perfect anything anymore. If you've been through this, you're not alone. Thanks for listening.